What up, y'all? It's me, Brandon from Gswaps. I've been down here in the basement, basically just working on an engine and transmissions and just stuff like that, trying to get ready for this year, 2026. I know I haven't posted any videos in a long time, and I apologize about that. Honestly, I've had a lot going on in my life. I got a kid now; she's now 4. I've also have been working on cars, and I have been working a full time job in the meantime too. My daughter, she, like I said, she just turned 4. She's so amazing. She's awesome. Like, I can't wait for the whole world to meet her, actually. And she's totally into cars now. So, but anyways, in the meantime, you know, when I haven't been being a dad, I've been working on engines and cars and stuff. I've got a 2000 Honda Civic Si EM1. It is a full tube chassis car. I plan on showing it on my channel and stuff. I know I haven't done anything in a while, but also I've got a new engine for the Integra, kind of what I'm going to talk about today. It is a G22 non VTEC, but it is VTEC. It's using a VTEC head, but it's locked cam, so it's VTEC all the time. So ish long, not non VTEC, VTEC ish. So it's sitting over here. I'll show you in a minute. Also have a sleeved engine I'm building, H22, straight H for that EM1 as well. I'll be doing that on the channel this year. I've got an extra F20B that I just built and put together. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. It also has the turbo kit that goes to the EM1 race car, just mocked up on it. And it is set up for H2B right now, but I was going to put it in the Integra, but instead I went ahead and just built another engine. I built a way better engine, and you guys are going to see it. So, I mean, with that being said, that F20B manual is just sitting there, and it has my Type R transmission on it, which I've got to pull off that and put on this other engine I plan on building. So, anyways, I will go ahead and flip screen and show you guys some stuff. All right, guys. So like I said, I've got a few engines. This is technically the same engine that I did have in the Integra before when it was lock cams, and it made this. I had a little short video I made a while back. If you check it out, it sounds like a cammed out 350, but it's a Honda G series engine, G22. So this is actually a version 2 model of it, and it's a G22 as well. So that first one, I used an F22B manual block, and that was the dual overhead cam JDM engine. It had a 55 millimeter crank, which I believe is the same crank as an H23 VTEC from Japan. So that first engine was that variation. This one is now an F22B2, which is the 50 millimeter crankshaft, but the rods, pistons, everything else is all pretty much the same. In fact, I'm reusing the same pistons. I'm using different rods, though, because I did spin a bearing because I was two-stepping and it let the bearing go. I was just showing off. And, it is what it is. We all do it. So this is the same header that was on the Integra last time. Still non-VTEC, right? I made that block-off plate right there and just, put the washers on. It's pretty cool. I still got to mount this on. You might see that over there, but I'm kind of blocking it right now because I don't want to talk about it just yet. So this is G22 VTEC all the time, locked cams. So, and I also have adjustable cam gears. I got the eBay tensioner. It doesn't really need it. Also, Bro Performance. I believe they're out of business now, but honestly, the guy should get back into this stuff because it's really cool, and like nobody does it anymore. It's hard to find parts for this stuff. It's getting super expensive nowadays. So anyways, Bro Performance engine. I'm using this time, there's a friend of mine who actually lives like in the next town over, owns this company. It's called Affordable Turbo Kits. But yeah, sorry, my flashlight turned off and it kind of made me stop there for a second. Okay, so a buddy of mine owns this right here, and it's his company is called Affordable Turbo Kits, and basically he sells turbos and stuff like that, and you can basically get stuff. Instead of me making balance shaft elite kits, I decided I'd just get one off him this time and kind of support what he's got going on. So that's kind of cool. I'm just doing a little shout out to him, Dustin Legan. If you see this, you're getting spotted right here. You're on my channel. So, but anyways, so this uses the it's the F22 crank, H23 non-VTEC crank, basically. This block, I also did use Chris Boyette's epoxy in it, and honestly, like, I didn't know what I was going to do with that at the time. In fact, every open sleeve block I build from now on is going to be epoxied, just because, I mean, it's just insurance basically on an open sleeve. So that'll be good. Even if it's turbo and non-turbo, I'm still going to do it. Cooling may be a factor, but I've been thinking about other ways of cooling the engine, like electronic water pumps and stuff like that. Maybe in the future on the full-blown race car stuff. But anyways, these are eBay cam gears. These cams are base cam shafts, basically. They're base cams. I don't have the valve cover bolted right now, so I can kind of show you. But they are blue top cams. They are not Type S. They're basically F20B auto cams or H23 cams, or even the base model H22, like 97 plus, maybe 99, maybe 2000, 2001 that came out with the blue cams in America, but the 97 plus base cams, with all those are. Pistons, I'm using F20B pistons. I actually have another set laying around, so I'm probably going to build another copycat engine of the original G22 that I put together. So I got another engine in the future to build too. This also has a set of eagle rods. Honestly, didn't get any full-blown pictures of putting the pistons in or anything like that, but I do have some footage to add of the putting the crankshaft in and the epoxy and just stuff like that, talking about that I will add to this video. So, but anyways, the big thing I did want to talk about on here. Oh, crap. Okay, all right. I dropped my phone. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, one of the big things I do want to talk about here is I got too much H series stuff, parts everywhere. Okay, there's pistons, there's blocks, transmission, wheels. There's just too much stuff. I don't need half this stuff. And I even have parts kind of, hanging right there. This just fell again the second time. I'm just going to set it over here for now. Okay, so like I said, there's another engine. There's engine parts there. All right, but anyways, back on track to what I really wanted to talk to you guys about is this engine. And I do want to get rid of a lot of stuff. So, like, if anybody needs any H-Series parts or anything like that, or F-Series stuff, hit me up. Because I got a lot of stuff that I'm not going to use in the future, and it's just sitting around, and somebody else might be better for using it. So, back to what I wanted to talk about. This is the OBX H22 intake manifold I bought. So, I plan on putting this in the Integra, so we're going ITBs in it. I've never went ITBs before, so it's kind of new to me. Now, I do know that this won't really add a whole lot of horsepower, but the cool factor is definitely there. So, look how clean that is back there. It's just beautiful. But the cool factor is definitely there. I got to do some throttle plate adjustments to get them open up all the way. I think it's actually this vacuum down here blocking it off. But, kind of hitting it anyways. So this is the setup that's going in the Integra for this year. I don't know when I'm going to have it done, probably in a few months maybe, or less if I get on it. I do need to grind the back of the block for H to B, because this is going to use my Type R transmission on it, so it'll be extremely short gears, ITBs, headers, and 11-to-1 compression. It'd be pretty decent setup, honestly, and locked cams. So it really would just be a show engine, honestly. Like, I want to take it to car shows, and just basically, it'll sound like a Formula One when it's revving because of the ITBs, but when it's idling, it'll sound like a cammed out 350, and that's just the total cool factor. So, anyways, that's just kind of my plan for the Integra. I do have lots of other projects going on, and I do plan on making a few more videos. The next video I'll probably do on the Integra is me actually maybe shaving the back of the block for H to B. I think that there's not a lot of information about that out there, so that could be done. So I'll probably shave the back of the block and make a video of it, and then also I will, the next video after that, of the Integra, because there's multiple different cars I'm building. The Integra will be, it'll just have this engine swap done to it. There's a couple other things I need to do to the Integra I've been thinking about is basically I want to redo the whole body harness too. Like get another one. I already have one out of a 92 to 93 Integra. That's a 91. So it's OBD-O, and I want to do a 92 to 93 wiring chassis harness, the entire car. Yeah, just to kind of, it'll update its system. I won't have a jumper harness for going, to use my OBD-1 ECUs on it. But anyways, I guess that's just the plans on the Integra. I do have other projects going on I can show you a little bit about. So this is that F20B I was telling you all about, F20B manual. I did put a new head gasket on it and ARP head studs. So other than that, it's completely bone stock, bottom end. I did inspect the bearings, they were perfect, so I just put it back together. Right now it has okay, so when I say Type R transmission, it is a Type R transmission, yes, but it's only the gear stacks 1 through 5 and the final drive. This actually is a YS1 Integra case, 92 to 93 Integra case, or JDM CRX YS1 style. What you do is you can use the gear stacks out of any S80, Y80, any newer transmission Integra hydraulic style, and put them into a 92 to 93 case. It directly flies, it goes in there, no problem. Another problem you may run into is with LSDs, you might have to shave the fins on them. That's pretty much about it. So other than that, it's really good. It already has my H2B Bro Performance plate kit on there. This came from ESP Performance, Split Speed Performance. I think they're out of business now. But yeah, so this transmission is going to go on that engine over there. This turbo setup is the turbo manifold is actually from Jack Spania. I just bought it because it was a good deal. It was like $400 for one. We'll see how well it holds up whenever I get it on there, I guess. But this turbo is a MSPR Pulsar 6266 on it, billet wheel, dual ball bearing. So I got 44 millimeter gates right there. I don't know what springs in it yet until I get it running. But this is going to go on my EM1 right here. This whole setup right here. I just got it bolted up here for mock-up purposes. The turbo's not even really bolted down. It's just got like 2 bolts in it, just tight, barely tight. So that's the plan for that. This engine right now is a perfectly good backup engine, bone stock with ARP head studs, and it has manual cams in it because it is a manual engine. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this engine yet. It's bone stock. The CRV needs an engine, so this possibly could go in the CRV. Yeah, the H2B CRV all-wheel drive 5-speed manual. Yeah, that's going to get some work this year too. I also supercharged it, but for some reason it just couldn't hold a head gasket for some reason. I mean, I don't know. It just kept getting hot now, and it's got oil mixing on it, and I've let it sit for over a year, so it just needs, that engine needs to be pulled out. But that'll be another future project we'll get onto eventually. But anyways, I just got done working on this transmission for the Civic. I got to glue this on the case piece on there, but it shifts well and everything. So a while back, I redid the synchro springs on it, but the slider that I put on was actually worn out too much on the inside. So this is a slider. You can't really tell, but it's actually worn down too much on the inside to where they won't grab the spring. So I went ahead and just actually used a GSR B16 style third pore slider. By the way, synchros for H22 transmissions all use GSR and B16 stuff, Type R stuff. The only synchro spring that's different is the fifth in reverse, and that is actually A1 90 to 91 Integra A1 synchro spring and slider they use on H22 stuff. So if anybody need to know about that, that's actually, you can use B series parts to fix your H22 transmissions as well. So it's just some of the stuff's compatible, like the sliders, first second slider, and synchros, and third, fourth sliders and synchros for the VTEC transmissions will work perfectly for H22. So this is a T2T4 transmission. If you don't know what that is, or no, this is T2W4. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what that is a Euro R transmission, and this has LSD right there. So this is going in my Civic. I just rebuilt it. The training in my Civic is starting to grind on second, so I'm gonna have to do that here soon. This transmission is a T2T4. This is the F20B manual transmission. I have yet to go through it, so I may go through it in a video to teach you guys how to rebuild a transmission. So it'll be super easy. It's bone stock. I haven't touched it. I haven't cracked into it. I haven't opened it up, but I wouldn't mind making a transmission rebuild video. All right. These engines here. So this engine is an F20B engine. Now it is decked. It's bored over 86.5, and I've got K-series pistons for it. I need to order a new set of rods for it because the K20 rods, or not, the G23 rods, yes, it's going to be a G23 inside of a F20B block, basically. So no head gasket issues, no water pipes, no water pumps. I don't have to fab any of that stuff. But it is iron sleeves from the factory. I am going to epoxy it. I just haven't done it yet. So this will be a rod and piston motor using Gswaps pistons. I do have a full set of them. I have parts on the shelf for days. So this will be a Gswaps rod and piston motor epoxy block, capable of hopefully 700 horsepower. It'll be a G23 crank and rod. That's my setup for it. So it's just F23 crank and rod in it, basically. 55 millimeter main. This engine is my big bad boy right here. So it is a Abe sleeved H22 A4 block. So it's done by a company called Abe's. They make these piston sleeves, I guess. This was in a supercharged Prelude before I got it. So it was a black Honda Prelude that was supercharged and built by Abe's. So anyways, yeah, so this engine has been bored over to 87.5 because it did have scratches in the back right here. Right, so I bored it over, and it is decked, and it is ready to be put together. But the only reason I've been holding back on it is because I need to have fire rings installed on the lip here, so that way I don't blow head gaskets as much. I just want to kind of have that insurance there. So this is going to be my full-blown sleeved engine that I plan on building. So this is going to be like the race engine. This is going to go in the Civic, and that's kind of cool. That's the color of the Civic right there. And now I have two Civics. I have a gray with 4-door. It's my daily. That's going to get the transmission. And the purple Civic is the other one. That's the EM1. So this engine's going in the EM1. Right. This engine is just going to be another backup, ready to go engine, capable of 700 horsepower, could possibly boosted. Is a rod and piston engine. It's just going to be a backup for this engine. You know, basically, I got another one that I can get going. So, I also have X-Beam H22 rods for it. A lot of you guys, if you listened and watched PFI Speed, you've probably met Tom or seen Tom June. I actually got a set of pistons, which are his old pistons out of his RSX. They were low mileage pistons. They're Aries pistons. They're like mint condition, and there's no reason why I shouldn't use them, or could not use them. They're spec'd out perfect, and they look great. So those pistons are going to go in here. They're I think they're 9-to-1 low compression piston, and it's 87.5 So that's the bore on this H22. X-beam rods, ARP main bolts, ARP head studs, ACL race bearings, ACL race washers, ACLF, everything bearing wise. I do plan on doing so the head gasket is going to be multi-layer steel, regular MLS, but that's going to be, Boosted Boys Kyle made a video on how he uses this 04 gauge wire right here that he gets at Harbor Freight. So I'm probably going to do that route so I can use the MLS gasket. Well, anyways, that being said, that's that engine. So I got a Euro R head I'm going to put on it. It's going to have Type S cams, Type S valve train. I don't know if I want to change the valve springs and retainers yet because it is Type S and they are better than, your average spring. I don't know if it can affect the cam lobe. I don't know if it'll cause wear. And I also do have a fully built head too that's it's not port and polished or anything, but it's got Crower valve springs and retainers in it. So I may put that one on here and run base cams. But I'm either going the route of the F20B head or I'm going the other route of the Crower springs head with base cams. Either way, I should be able to make ungodly amounts of power on the engine with the setup I plan on doing. And the transmission's not going to hold. It sucks. I'm going to kill a T2 T4 manual transmission. So I'm going to eventually get a dog box for it, but that's down the line. So this I don't know what I'm going to do with it head-wise, how I'm going to plan on running it, but it's either going to be base cams or it's going to be Type S stuff. I know Type S stuff's valuable. I could buy aftermarket camshafts if I sell the Type F stuff. However I do. Euro R Type S. Okay, so I also have an H22A1 block right here. It's closed deck. Everything's pretty much stock on it. I am going to take it to the machine shop and have liners put in, or the Darton bore out and press in sleeve. I'm not going to take all this meat away. It's going to be a closed deck, and I might even step deck it 5/1000ths of an inch, step deck it, so that way the cylinder actually sticks out. And what the purpose of that is that is the same thing as a fire ring. Basically, same concept as a fire ring, something to press more on the gasket there to keep the cylinders from letting gases out. So H22A1. I also have an H23A1 and another H22A1 as well, all closed decks, and they may all get liners put in them, so that way basically these can be some 1,000 horsepower engines. So this would be the strongest one. All these ones will just follow suit right behind it. Just power wise. So but yeah, I got some sleeve engines I plan on putting together this year. I do have rods for this. They're just H-beams, Eagle H-beams, but I do not have pistons yet for it because I haven't. I do have pistons, but they're K-series style pistons, and I know that they will work, but the offset's going to be off a little bit on them. And then I know that I don't really plan on going G23 with this stuff. I just plan on going straight H with my H-series blocks, for the simple fact that they do rev higher, and a turbo engine, you want a turbo engine to rev, basically. All motor stuff, go G-series all the way, because then you get all the torque to the ground. Well, I guess I'm going to kind of cut this video short, I guess, and kind of recap it, but just wanted to talk about what I got going on for the future of Gswaps and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I didn't really have any plans on I just figured I'd start making videos again, just make some informational videos, I guess. So I'll just show this engine here too. This is another custom G23 that I built a while back. It's a non-VTEC, okay? Non-VTEC G23 using an H23 head. It's actually super, super easy to build, and anybody with an F22 or H22 can do this without any modifications, fab work, or anything. And this can put you all motor, if you use stock pistons, right in the horsepower range of about 180. So, and probably 150 to 60 torque, right? Well, actually, no. That's if you use F22. So if you use F23, you're looking at like 160 to 60 to 70 torque-ish, maybe more. All motor, just bolting the head on. So this is an H23 non-VTEC head, right? And this is like the original G23. And Honda also built a F22 B manual, or F22B engine, and that is the dual overhead cam variation of what this is. Except for this uses a 2.3 liter block. Now, I've got K20 Type S pistons in this. I've got the normal G23 setup. This actually has the rods that I was going to put in that other one over there on the engine stand. The reason why the F20V over there. So this one has those rods, right? And this is a F23 crank. It's also got a balanced shaft delete kit, my kit. This is basically, to make this work, there is no water pipe you have to customize or anything. You use an F22A1 water pipe, and you use an F22A1 thermostat. Or you can use, no, it has to be the F22A1 thermostat, yes. F22A1 water pipe and thermostat. And then you can use either H23 intake manifold, or you can use F22 manifold A1. It's got to be A, A6, any of those variations. You can use those, but H23 one will get you your best output because it's bigger. Also, turbo manifold. This was in my Civic a while back. This engine's perfectly fine. I pulled it out because I thought I was having some kind of issue with the car, and I ended up changing engines out because I thought the engine might have had an issue. Turned out the engine that I put in there had the exact same problems that this one did. So it was losing fuel supply. This was boosted, and I changed turbos like 3 times. It just wasn't making power, wasn't making power. Now, I was making like 650 horsepower, like on 22 pounds of boost before I had issues. So everything was fine before I had issues. Come find out, after changing the engine out and changing the turbo and a bunch of intercooler stuff, and I also got one of the pressure gauges that bolts onto the turbo that pressurizes all the intercooler piping and stuff, and I got a smoke machine too. And after changing all that out, I go and I pull my fuel pump, and the hose on the fuel pump was ripped on the side of it, and it was just basically blowing fuel inside the tank. And that was all my power. So that's where I wasn't making any boost on it. So I didn't put it back in the car. I already had the Euro R's in my car right now. That's what's in my 4-door Civic. And I kept it that way just for the simple fact that, my daughter, I needed a 4-door car. It was a turbo. This was turboed, and I was spanking LS6 Camaros and stuff all the time. And there was a LT1 Trans Am. I beat it too like it was nothing. But this is turbo Honda, so you're going to get that fact no matter what. But G series. So Frankenstein right here. This is the H23 head bolted to the F23 or F22 block. No modifications. Had to be done to the engine. Direct fit. The only things that I did do custom wise, I wanted adjustable cam gears. They do not make adjustable cam gears for this engine, basically. You could run stock cam gears. That's perfectly fine. What I did was I ran B series cam gears, and that's what they say to use on H23s. It's an old school method, and honestly, they're like perfectly pretty close to the same size, but they're like maybe just the diameter's just slightly smaller. So to compensate for that, I ran a bigger water pump. This is the F23 or 22 water pump, which is actually bigger than the H23. So normally I would just swap the H23 gear over to this pump, right? Just like you would do a 22. That would be the only modification, maybe. But I found out that the F22 and 23 pump is only 1 tooth more. So it just makes it slightly bigger. So the diameter size is smaller, diameter around of these slightly. Same amount of tooth count, just slightly smaller. Compensated by using that water pump. So, and it just directly bolted on. But anyways, this engine also has Chris Boyette's epoxy. Type S K20 pistons, stock pistons, by the way. I was making 650 horsepower on stock pistons. And I wish I had my dyno chart still. But also, aftermarket rods. So, anyways, that's basically all I got for this video right now. I got a huge basement to clean out, and I got projects to work on for days for this year. I'm going to be making tons of videos, but once I get started on stuff, once I get working on stuff, I'm going to be making videos for y'all. I'm going to be cleaning this basement, one of the first things I do. So, and getting some of these projects on the way, like this transmission can be in a car. That transmission needs to be rebuilt or checked out. This needs to be in a car, bolted to that transmission. So, like I said, I got to pick a bunch of stuff up. I had a shelf that just dropped, basically that thing, I just got this new shelf and everything kind of just fell off of it the other day. So, I got a mess to pick up. But, anyways, this is Brandon from Gswaps. I don't know. Talk to you guys later, I guess. Have a good New Year, Happy New Year, and Merry Christmas to y'all. And I'm going to get to building engines this year, so you guys are going to enjoy them. Anyways, Gswaps out. Have a good day.